It's been a while since I've done this series, but I am finally ready to bring back the unknown updates. And if you don't know what this series is, this is basically a series where I go ahead and talk about entertainment news. Well, let me correct that. Not actually news, but more news based around fandoms, entertainment, things that I'm into. Like I tell you, this is a gaming hobby channel, so basically topics around these kind of themes. And if you didn't see the last video I did on this series, the reason why I stopped it because I wasn't happy with it. But now I decided to make changes, and it's really because of one topic why I decided to bring back this series. And this is the big change I'm going to do. This is not going to be a consistent series. I'm not going to do these every month, and it's no longer going to be 30 to almost an hour long. That's gonna stop. Well, I won't say I won't have any of those long videos, but they're not going to be the norm. Going forward, how it's going to work is anytime I have something I really want to talk about or I'm interested in and I want to share, then you'll get one of these videos. So it's going to be when I feel like it and not a reoccurring series like I try to do. Now, maybe that might change in the future, but for now, sometimes I have things I want to talk about and I felt this is the best series to do it with. And this main topic is the reason why I decided to bring the series back. I have been waiting for probably, a decade, maybe even more than a decade for this to come out. And I'm going to go ahead and put the article on the screen in a sec. But after all these years, they're finally releasing a new version of the Hydra Gundam. Now, it does suck that it's a P-Bondi. That's one of the things I'm not really happy about. But I'm also not surprised about it either. So if you don't know where this Gundam comes from, well, my first time seeing this Gundam was from Gundam Battle Assault. But this actually comes from a Gundam Wing side story called G-Unit. Now I did check, and I think this was number 4 of my most wanted Gundam kits to be released. And some of y'all in the comments that said, most likely ain't gonna happen. Well, it looks like things are starting to change. When it comes to this one, the G07 or the D-First, just to name a few, I feel like some of the Gundams I've always wanted to see, or mobile suits, are finally coming, and I'm pretty happy about this. So this is currently not up on the P-Bondi store yet, but supposedly it comes out in November, and the conversion rate from yen to USD is about $34, but expected to be a lot more when it comes to the P-Bondi store. I personally believe it's going to be about $46, so you're probably going to be paying almost $60 total with shipping and tax included. So it kind of sucks. That's just what I feel is going to be at. So I won't make any guarantees, but maybe once it's on the P-Bondi store, I may post an update on the community tab, or might make another video. Not making any promises, but just letting you know. I'm sure you heard the news by now, which I've talked about it in a couple of other videos, where Sony is going to stop supporting physical game sales. Now, I'll say this. I am very, very happy at the reaction on the internet that I'm seeing and how people are continuously going at Sony. I hope this lasts. That's kind of my fear, is that, and that's I think what Sony's waiting for, is that everybody gets tired of it. But I hope this doesn't stop, because this is something I've always wanted to see, and I'm glad I'm seeing it. Now, me personally, I believe this is a bigger issue, but since this is my gaming hobby channel, I'll keep it on theme. What I thought I'll go ahead and do is, I got this list, and I'm going to let you know what my issues are personally on the loss of physical. Now, when I go down this list, some of my points may be repetitive because I just don't have time to organize things properly. So just fair warning. You know what? I'll just start here. I am a big ownership kind of person, and I think ownership is very important. Now, I have heard some arguments for digital only, and in my opinion, most of the arguments I hear are not very good. They're mainly an argument of convenience, which fair enough, but I just don't think that's a very good argument to me. There's a few I will accept, like the one I heard where the person says they don't have access to physical, so that makes sense to me. But for the most part, it's just an argument of convenience. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go down my list of why I am more for ownership. So we're not here all day, I'm just going to summarize my points. First, the used game market is pretty much gone. Basically, it will remove collecting, trading, reselling, and lending of games. It's going to kill most video game chains like GameStop, although I think GameStop is transitioning to offering more in their shops, but yeah, it's going to kill a lot of these game store chains. The space limitations on your hard drive, I mean, I got a PS4, I got friends who have a PS5, they always gotta delete and re-download games all the time, so that also gets killed. Censorship, big issue, because they have the ability, if they don't like something, to go in there and change the original version of the game after purchase. Even if you don't want it, even if you're okay with it. Sometimes I understand it. Maybe you have a rogue developer that goes off the rails and adds something that shouldn't be there. Okay, fair enough, I get it. But for the most part, the perfect example is what happened with the movie Splash on Disney Plus, where they digitally censored a scene, which you can look it up yourself. Just go to Disney Plus Splash and you'll see what I'm talking about. Yeah, I don't really like that. For the most part, there's a couple of exceptions, but I'm not cool with that at all. A high possibility to be subjected to dynamic pricing, which I think that should be outlawed completely. Look it up, because to me, that is a terrible practice. Locking your game to a specific console and, well, I shouldn't say inability, I should say the limiting of being able to play games with your friends over local co-op. To keep it stupid simple, I shouldn't have to buy an entirely new console to play a two-player game with my friends. Locally, I forgot that other word, locally, to play a two-player game locally with my friends. So I shouldn't have to bring my game over to my friend's house and have to change my license to their console. I should be able to put it in and play. Forced into game licenses, not ownership, and the problem with that is that if you have a license, at any point in time, they can revoke that license for any reasons, which I think that's a humongous issue. The causing of monopoly and monopolizations of games, which that's an entirely long conversation. I would just tell you, just look it up. There's plenty of YouTube videos out there that talk about this and explain it. But the monopolizations of games, I think it's a horrifying thing. Now, this actually happened to my friend, which I'm going to come back to this at the end of this section, but it is the losing of your account access for whatever reason. Now, there are very minor situations where I may accept being locked out of your account, but if locking of your account makes you lose access to your game, particularly single player games, I think that's an issue. Again, there's some nuance here, but that's a totally different conversation for what I'm trying to do here. These were two different topics, but I decided to put them together, and that is the possibility of keeping games expensive, and there's going to be no price decrease now that they're not printing or developing physical copies. To me, digital games should be significantly cheaper because you don't have to deal with the cost of creating discs. And with that, I go into the next one where because of that and because the prices are going to be sky high, and even with the rumor of the PS6 being $1,000 or more, you're basically making gaming a luxury, and it creates a barrier of entry to this hobby. And my last one is the possibility of always having to be online to play your games. Which, especially if it's a single player game, I shouldn't have to access the internet so I could play my games. I should be able to go ahead and play. So these are my issues, but here's a key thing. From my understanding, just getting physical games is not going to solve the issue because you could still block access to physical games. From my understanding, what you actually need to attack, which I can't remember which one, so I'm just going to say them both, it's either DMCA or the DRM. If you know exactly what it is, put it in the comments down below, but it's DMCA or DRM that's keeping you from fully owning your games and allowing them to still block physical games. So you actually need to stop, or I should say you actually need to attack that process. So even if you get back physical games, it still doesn't fully solve the problem if they could still block access to your disc. And again, if you have more details on this, please put it in the comments down below and I'll probably bring it up in a future video. But again, I am happy that there is a heavy pushback. Even the fact that there's a lot of organizations that are pushing back and even countries that are getting involved, I think it's a good thing. Now, I'm not fully confident, but it is nice to see. You also have Stop Killing Games, which is slightly different, but pretty much in the same lane. So there is a lot of pushback and I'm pretty happy that these things are happening. But Xbox seems to have a plan, and I want to talk about them real quick, which they're talking about disc to digital, which I'm not really fully comfortable with this solution, but I'll go down the bullet points. Only Xbox One and Xbox Series X disc are compatible with this feature. And how the process works is you insert the disc into your Xbox, install the game, and then play it while you're signed into a Microsoft account, which grants you a digital license. What you get is full digital access similar to a store purchase. You can download, play games without the disc. You also get access to cloud gaming, available and only if you have Game Pass, Xbox Play Anywhere titles, PC and handheld, and bundled console games and multi-disc titles, including DLC. The key detail is it's tied to the disc. The digital license travels with the physical disc. If you lend, sell, or swap the disc, the entitlement moves to the new user's account. Your account loses access once the disc is no longer with you. Discs remain fully usable. Oh, okay, yeah, I read that right. Discs remain fully usable after fully digitizing them. Final disclaimer, not all Xbox One discs will work, and it's still in testing. I still don't feel this is a complete solution. It's better than what Sony's doing, but it's still a license, which is kind of an issue. And that's my biggest issue. It's a license that you're getting, and it still doesn't really resolve the entire problem. Now, to pick on Nintendo for a little bit, they do have the key card situation, which my issue with that is, if the game is not included on the cartridge, why am I paying full price for a game that isn't there? That to me doesn't make any sense to me. That's just a kind of weird thing. I should not be paying full price for basically what amounts to a note on a plastic looking container. That just doesn't make sense to me. With a couple of wiring and stuff, but it's just mainly a key code. So to me, that's dumb. And now at the end, I asked myself this question: what would make me accept digital games? And I took it down to 3 things have to happen. First, the laws need to change so when you buy the digital game, you actually own it. They can't delete it, they can't change it, they can't take it away from you. If you buy it, you own it. And if they want to make changes, they gotta ask. Secondly, for the new consoles, they need to bring out a disc reader that will read all the games. Using Sony as an example, from the PlayStation 1 all the way to the PS5, I can plug in this disc drive to the system and play all my physical games whenever I want to. That helps me easily transition to digital, even though I still don't like it. Lastly, you got it in this console generation with a physical copy of GTA 6. Now again, this isn't the solution I will want, but this will make it bearable to transition into an all-digital future. Now again, you're totally welcome to disagree with my points, and actually, I don't have issues of people liking digital or preferring digital. I think it's fine. My issue stems from the potential of loss of ownership and taking away the physical aspect of people who prefer physical games over digital. Now, don't get it twisted. Just because I can accept certain points, to be fair, don't ever think I am not pro-physical. I'm just being fair, but I am 110% pro-physical. And to bring it back to my friend, me and my friend did actually have a debate on this because we are definitely on different sides of the aisle. And that's going to be coming up in a future Twilight of the Endgames podcast episode. I have one I need to finish before that one comes out. But once that's done, and as long as the audio issues aren't too bad, then I will be releasing that one so you can get both sides of the argument. So give me about 2 to 4 weeks, and both of those should be out. So I just wanted to give you a quick update on some of the gacha games that I'm currently playing. First, FGO is having a US broadcast on the 14th, which is probably going to be on the summer event, which I hope a lot of y'all have some quartz saved up for. They do recommend you complete Ordeal Call, at least the prologue, which I'm nowhere near close to completing. Also be aware there will be a maintenance on July the 14th. Megarashi Matilda and her ST has been announced, which, as good as she is, if you have not got yourself a copy of Rose of Judgment, get her now because she's far more important than Matilda. But her banner will be coming out this week. Lastly, Epic 7. This is a great time to start with the combination of the Milestone of Radiance and the Epic Dash event. There's a lot that you could get right now. We're also halfway through summer, so by the time this video comes out, you probably missed the first banner. But a new ML has been announced and will be coming out this week. There's also going to be a balance adjustment for characters, and I'm assuming that the second summer banner, if it doesn't come out this week, it should at least be announced this week. But again, this is a total assumption. Now, this was longer than what I wanted, but I'll end it with a quick channel update. I said this in an earlier video, but I brought back my summon sessions, but instead of it just being catered to FGO, I'm catering it to multiple games, multiple gacha games that I play, so make sure to check out those shorts. The Gundam shorts will be coming back around August, and my next live build will be happening within 2 to 4 weeks of the releasing of this update episode. And also, because I forgot to mention this, yes, I will have guests like I did before come on if they have something they wish to talk about and cover. They're totally welcome to. And just to keep this on record, the goal of this series, now that it's back, is to try to keep it under 10 minutes, but never go longer than 20. Now that's what you can expect going forward whenever I decide to record one of these unknown updates. Now, before I go, I just want to mention that we definitely hit 500 subscribers, and I want to thank y'all for hitting that subscribe button. So the next milestone is 1,000, and I definitely have something planned for that one. Now, it's not going to be anything big or crazy, so don't get the wrong expectation, but it's something that I hope that you'll enjoy. So now that you know that we have a goal, why don't you do us a favor and hit that subscribe button to help grow this channel, help build this brand, and to create one of the best communities on the internet today.